Welcome to Withdraw Consent. I'm Jack. Today I want to talk to you about a kind of wild idea that I had in the past, and I'm doing this because I've got to do this to try to get you to understand tomorrow's episode, basically about immigration. And so when I was in college, I was studying history and I was studying about the American Revolution, and I thought, why not just be a loyalist, right? And if you think about if you just think about the British Empire and you think about the sun never set on the British Empire and you think about all of these just amazing feats that they accomplished. And so I was pretty young, and that's a thought you can have if you want to. I'm fine with it, but I didn't understand why I was wrong thinking that. And now I've come to realize why it is. It's the same reason why you could just say, look, why not just go along with the system right now? Why not just become a cog in the wheel and work to further American imperialism or whatever we're doing, whatever you call this, law-based rules and order or whatever they say. And it's got a very simple answer. Do you know where I'm going with this? I'm interested. Like if you hit me up below, if you just already know this before. But the answer is morality. And so you have all this stuff. You're an American, we'll say, watching this. Everybody's not, but say you are, right? And you've got all these advantages, and I mean, life's pretty grand in the U.S. It has deteriorated some recently, but compared to the world, it's pretty grand. And are you willing to have that life at the cost of 1 million Iraqi women, children, and just civilians? Are you willing to have that cost? Because that's the cost of what you have right now, of hegemony by the United States in the world. I mean, there's so many costs like that. I could go to Libya. I could go to Syria. I mean, I could talk about Gaza right now. The poor people in Ukraine getting kidnapped in a buses and pepper sprayed if they don't go to the front lines where their life expectancy is really low. And you could just go on and on. You could look in history and you could just look at all types of events. And so my point here is that we have this standard of living and we have the lifestyle we have because of all the terrible things our country does. And that's why you can't just become a cog in the wheel. That's why we look down on establishment people so much, because sure, we like the stuff, but it comes at a moral price that's too high. So therefore we become anti-establishment, right? If you had any sense at all, you would just become pro-establishment and just be raking in just weapons contracts, and you would just be a lobbyist or something, and you would just be cleaning up off the system. And this is one of the reasons why Washington, D.C. is such an immoral place, because you have to sell out all the people in the world, all of humanity. You have to sell them out to become part of the establishment. And so I want to pitch this idea to you, and I want to ask you this question. Would you be willing for the United States to be anti-war, to lose world hegemony, and your standard of living lowers, but you're doing the right thing? You're a good person. Your country's doing good for the world instead of ruling the world in a terrible manner, right? Would you be willing to take that hit? And if not, then I think you should do some self-reflection, because like 1 million Iraqis I've got no affinity for Iraqis. I don't know Iraqis. I don't study Iraqi literature. I don't have any affinity for Iraqis, but they're human beings, and I'll just pass on 1 million of them getting killed, civilians, right? This is back during the sanctions. We leveled these sanctions on them, and it just wrecked them, and 1 million people died. And so this is my entire pitch. I want to just kind of percolate this idea in your head, because I'm gonna give you an argument tomorrow. They make the argument that if you did my immigration policy, it would be a lower standard of living. So then for a selfish person would allow their country to get ruined by poor immigration practices rather than do my immigration. I'm giving it to you real short. But like, will you take a standard of living? Now, I'm going to make the argument tomorrow that you're not going to take a drop in standard of living with my immigration policy. But would you take the drop to do the right thing? That's my question. It's like you go back to the Loyalist thing, and you've got to, in order to keep alive the empire that the sun never sets on, you have to deprive people of religious freedoms. You have to be okay with them housing soldiers in your house and all the things that they were fighting against during the American Revolution. And then it's just a moral question. It's can you become establishment and sell out and do those things, or does that, will you not be able to sleep at night because you have a conscience and you're a decent human being? That's what it comes down to me. I'd appreciate your responses below, because this is really just my thoughts on stuff. This is not something I'm proving or anything. This is just my opinion, and I'm really interested to hear what your opinion is. And tomorrow we're going to expand upon this in the immigration episode, and I hope to see you there.